is something that I don't particularly like doing. I don't mind it if it's over the top like this because it's very quick. But if I have to hem an awful lot, say really get that skirt, then a blind hammer foot is ideal. Now let's have a look how you use the blind hammer foot and indeed if it works. But I can tell you now already, it does. It's so exciting. Let's go. And here is my blind hammer foot. I've already got an example for you so that you can see how it works. The little plastic part here is just shimmied in where you have your hem and holds it in place. Now here you can see that you have got a hammer stitch which goes like a couple of stitches forward and then one stitch over, and on this side you can see it's much wider. That was my first side I did, and I found that it just kept pulling away, and the reason for that was I didn't have the magic settings. So I'm going to give them to you now so it all works. You want your stitch width to be on 2. For my Pfaff machine, the needle position had to go over to the left. Then the stitch length is just under 3 and the number is H for me. That's my blind hammer stitch. And this is the first side I did where it wasn't perfect. So you take your hem, you fold it over, you put it under the machine, and the little white plastic bit just sits in there and holds it in place, and you want to line up that edge with your white plastic. And then you start to go. And as you can see, that my width here of my zigzag is actually too wide, and it keeps pulling because there's too much distance, so that I'm veering off and I'm in the end ending up way lower than I want it to be, and I'm really trying to hold it in, but as you can see it's not so easy to do, and I ended up way lower. Now when all is said and done, of course it doesn't make a lot of difference because you won't see it from the outside, but if you did say a dress with like you know, a couple of meters of fabric in there, then you don't want that to happen because it would continue to go on and on and on. So this time on the magic setting I do exactly the same. I put it back under, I move over my plastic bit a little bit more as well, so the distance to the edge is really small. And then as you can see now it's a tiny little stitch over, and that's all you want. You just want to grab like a fiber, and you need to set that up on your sewing machine really well. But once you've done it with this foot, what I like about it is once it's set up, all I have to do is go to the same settings on my sewing machine and it will be perfect every time. I don't have to think about it anymore. And when I did this, it wasn't veering over to the side. I just kept it close to the plastic here, just lined it up, and fine. No problem whatsoever, totally straight. And yes, total thumbs up for this. I have to say, this is really cool. Now I just want to show you also how I did this for my Belle Princess dress. But this time I used a Pfaff foot because that's what came with my sewing machine. It's beautiful, this, isn't it? Right, so I folded it under just the same way as we're doing here. That's how it works. And my foot has a little wheel that goes round. Now, whilst both of this worked really well, my little presser foot with a wheel on was way more expensive, and I can't actually say that it's better. It both works the same way. It both gives you the same result. So magic setting 2, over to the left with your needle, stitch length 3, setting H. This is a really good presser foot, which normally would cost you at least $12, so that's a massive saving. So if you're interested in getting this set for yourself, I really recommend it. Then you can go to Madame Sew, and the link is in the description here. You just click on more and there it is. Again, I have to say they don't pay me anything. I just think it's absolutely incredible value for money. I also have a link to frocksandfrolics.com and our academy. That's like a member site where you can find all my lovely patterns. And I want to leave you with a little teaser for my Virginia tunic. See you next week for another presser foot. Welcome to Frocks and Frolics tutorials and sewing patterns. With every sewing pattern here, the example is the beautiful Virginia top. You get instructions from beginning to end, from choosing your fabric, putting your pattern together, which incidentally, every pattern has its own file. So no layering and no funny multiple lines that you don't know where to go to. You get these beautiful close-ups so you can really see what's going on and follow along with a video to make your top and really learn how to sew from a professional. I am Marina and I'm a professional tailor, and I've been in the business for over 30 years. Working for high-end fashion companies for many years, you actually learn so many tips and tricks to pass on to make sure that your sewing doesn't look homemade. And as you can see here, we are finishing the beautiful Virginia tunic, which you can make in jersey, you can make it in all sorts of fabrics. Actually, anything goes for this one. Just make sure that you interface that yoke. And it looks absolutely stunning, as you can see here. We've got some linen examples. And these girls truly love their tunic. This is some pictures I was sent from customers. It's got that asymmetrical closure, so that's different. You've got beautiful sleeves, which are just turned up and have elastication in them. And then I also show you how to keep the ribbon at the same level all the way around. All these videos are absolutely free. You can watch them before you even make the top. So pop on over to frocksandfrolics.com and learn to sew like a pro. Bye for now.